right, so we're diving into Asian Paints today.
Sounds good.
Big meeting coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Need the inside scoop.
Well, you came to the right place.
We've got excerpts from their annual report right here, ready to break it all down.
We're talking financials, sustainability, future outlook, you name it.
By the end of this, you'll be walking into that meeting like you wrote the report yourself.
I like that, yeah.
All right, first things first. Revenue growth. What's the story?
So single-digit growth this year.
Okay, is that good or bad?
Well, it might seem a little underwhelming at first glance,
Yeah.
but you got to look at the context, you know?
Okay.
Inflation has been hitting those rural markets pretty hard,
Oh, right, yeah.
and that's a big chunk of their customer base.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how are they staying profitable then if revenue growth isn't exactly stellar?
That's where their focus on cost management comes in. Really impressive.
Okay, cost-cutting ninjas, basically.
Pretty much. They've managed to keep those profit margins healthy.
Despite everything.
You got it. In fact, their EBITDA actually grew by almost 24%.
Wow, 24%.
Yeah. That's a pretty strong signal, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. So they're running a tight ship. But what about those raw material prices? I mean, everyone's been feeling the pinch lately.
Absolutely. No escaping that. And the report acknowledges that, those rising input costs have been a challenge.
Yeah.
But they've been strategic about sourcing
Right.
and also, passing on some of those increases.
To customers.
Yeah, exactly. Delicate balancing act for sure.
Yeah, keeping both investors and customers happy. Not easy.
No, not at all.
So cost of goods sold has gone up,
Uh-huh.
but they're managing it.
Seems like it.
Okay, good. That's a relief. But what about all those other expenses, like marketing and administration?
Yeah,
Are those under control too?
that's a great question. And it's definitely something you could bring up in your meeting.
Good point.
The report does highlight some efforts to improve efficiency in their operations, They've been streamlining processes, investing in technology to reduce those overhead costs.
Okay, so like automation, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see how these initiatives actually play out in the long run.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, so we've got revenue growth, cost management, and operating expenses covered.
Check, check, check.
But ultimately, it all boils down to profit, right?
The bottom line.
What does it look like?
Well, their profit margins are actually quite healthy.
Okay, good.
They're boasting a strong ROCE,
Grow CE.
return on capital employed. Basically, it means they're using their money wisely to generate profits.
Got it.
That's a number that'll definitely catch the eye of anyone in that meeting.
Yeah, impressive. But you can't just focus on profit, right?
Right.
What about their debt situation?
Mm-hmm.
Are they taking on too much risk?
Well, their debt levels are something to keep an eye on for sure.
Okay.
They've got a decent asset turnover ratio.
Meaning?
They're using their assets effectively to generate sales. But it's always worth digging deeper into how they're managing their debt and interest payments.
Good point.
That's a key piece of the puzzle.
For long-term financial health.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got a good grasp of their financial performance.
I think so.
But, you can't ignore this anymore. Sustainability.
It's huge.
Are they just paying lip service to it, or are they actually walking the walk?
They're definitely putting a lot of emphasis on their ESG agenda.
Yes.
Environmental, social, and governance,
Right, of course.
Particularly when it comes to sustainable operations.
Okay.
Talking about renewable energy, water conservation.
Nice.
Even using recycled plastic in their packaging.
So a comprehensive approach, at least on paper.
It seems that way.
Okay, sounds good. They're trying to appeal to the eco-conscious consumer.
Makes sense, right.
Yeah, definitely. But are they actually innovating? Are they bringing anything new to the table?
They've got a whole section in the report dedicated to innovation.
Oh, real?
Yep. Talking about new product development.
Okay.
Especially around this beautiful homes concept they're pushing.
Interesting.
They're even venturing into new categories.
Oh, beyond just paint.
Yeah, things like decor and design services, trying to become a one-stop shop for home improvement, it seems.
Ambitious.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so financials, sustainability, innovation, all covered.
We're on a roll.
But what about the people at the helm? What's the management team saying about the future?
Well, the CEO's message in the report, he really emphasizes this shift from share of surface to share of space.
Share of space, okay.
Basically, they want to be more than just a paint company, a lifestyle brand.
A lifestyle brand, wow.
Ambitious vision, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. So big transformation. But how are they actually planning to achieve all of this? What's their roadmap look like?
They're investing heavily in technology, building a strong digital presence.
Makes sense.
They talk about creating this phygital experience.
Phygital? What's that now?
Blending online and offline worlds.
Oh, okay.
They've got this website that gets millions of visitors, and they're using it to drive traffic to their physical stores.
Oh, smart.
Offering design consultations online, too.
So really trying to connect with customers wherever they are. Smart move.
Yeah. It's the way to go these days.
But a lot of companies talk a big game about technology and innovation.
It's true.
What makes Asian Paints different?
Well, they've got this R&D center with a whole team of scientists working on new products and solutions. They're even partnering with startups.
Wow, startups.
Yeah, exploring new technologies like AI and VR.
To enhance the customer experience.
You got it.
That's pretty cutting edge. But with all this focus on technology, sometimes companies forget about the human element.
It happens.
What about their employees?
Yeah. Are they investing in their workforce?
Exactly.
Well, they do highlight their efforts to create a positive work environment.
Okay, good.
Invest in employee training.
Great.
They even have a dedicated section on diversity and inclusion,
Oh, that's good to see.
which is becoming increasingly important, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. For attracting and retaining top talent, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so they seem to be ticking all the boxes. Strong financials, a commitment to sustainability, a focus on innovation, and a people-centric approach.
It's a good look.
But what does it all really mean? What are the key takeaways I should focus on for this meeting?
You can definitely walk into that meeting feeling confident that Asian Paints is a company on the move.
Yeah.
They're not resting on their laurels. They're actively adapting to the changing market dynamics.
Right.
Embracing new technologies and investing in their people.
That's a great overview. But, I always like to dig a little deeper. What are some of the more nuanced aspects of their business that might not be immediately apparent from the report?
One thing that really stands out to me is their emphasis on building this phygital experience.
Digital, right, that blending of online and offline.
Exactly. It's not just about online versus offline anymore. They're seamlessly blending the two.
Okay, so their website, beautifulhomes.asianpaints.com, I looked it up, gets over 9 million visitors annually.
Wow, that's a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, and they're leveraging that online presence to drive leads to their physical stores.
Smart.
It's a smart way to connect with customers wherever they are in their home decor journey.
You got it.
And it's not just about selling products either.
Right.
They're using their digital platforms to provide inspiration and design consultations.
They even partnered with the St. Plus Art India Foundation to create those amazing art installations like the Tactile Art Museum for visually impaired students.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
It's about creating a sense of community and shared experience around home decor,
I love that. It shows they're not just a paint company.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the overall experience,
Mm-hmm.
adding value for their customers.
You got it.
But we should also take a look at their commitment to their workforce.
Yeah, for sure.
The report goes into detail about their efforts to create a safe and empowering work environment. And it's more than just lip service. They've got some impressive metrics. Their employee engagement score is 80%, and they've achieved a psychological safety score of 7 out of 10.
That's huge.
Yeah. And they're investing heavily in training and development with an average of 19.1 hours per year for senior management
Wow.
and 12.2 hours for workers.
Those are some solid numbers.
It shows they're putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to employee well-being.
Absolutely.
Or they're not stopping there, are they?
No. They're also focused on building strong relationships with their suppliers and contractors.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
They have a really robust, sustainable supply chain framework
Right?
that really emphasizes collaboration and ethical sourcing.
Go.
They're working to educate their suppliers about their ESG commitments and helping them improve their own sustainability performance.
Makes sense.
It's a recognition that their impact extends far beyond their own operations.
It's a ripple effect, really. Speaking of impact, have you looked over their community engagement initiatives? Yeah.
I have. Yeah. What did you think?
I was pretty impressed by what I saw. What were your thoughts?
It's commendable that they're taking a proactive approach to addressing these societal challenges.
Yeah, definitely.
Their Watermark initiative, for instance,
Uh-huh.
is focused on tackling water scarcity and improving water management practices in communities across India.
It's a big issue.
Huge.
They're not just waiting for the government to step in.
Right.
They're taking ownership and driving positive change.
Love to see it.
Absolutely. And they're tackling some pretty big issues. Healthcare access, skill development.
Wow.
They're even helping communities adapt to the impacts of climate change.
It's inspiring to see
It is.
Asian Paints using their success to make a real difference in the world.
Absolutely. And they're integrating these sustainability and community initiatives into their core business strategy, which is key.
Yeah. for long-term impact.
Makes sense.
It's a win-win approach, really.
Yeah.
They're creating value for their stakeholders while also contributing to a more sustainable and equitable future. It's a model for other businesses to emulate.
Well said. I feel like we've covered a lot, but there's always more to learn. Right?
Always.
We're going to take a quick pause here, but when we get back, we'll dive even deeper into Asian Paints business and strategy. I can't wait.
Sounds good. You know, one thing we haven't touched on yet is their governance structure.
Oh, right. Governance.
Any company of this size needs a solid foundation of ethical leadership and transparency.
Especially if you're thinking about investing.
Exactly.
So what does the report say about their corporate governance practices?
They actually have a very detailed section on it.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it covers things like their board composition, committee structures, and their risk management framework.
Oh.
They even have a target of 30% women representation on the board by 2030.
Oh, wow. That's good to see.
Yeah, shows a commitment to diversity at the leadership level.
Definitely. What else stood out to you?
Well, they also have a robust visual mechanism.
Vigil mechanism.
Yeah, it includes a whistleblower policy and an independent ethics hotline.
Got it.
This indicates a strong commitment to fostering a culture of accountability and ethical conduct.
Okay, yeah, building trust is essential,
Absolutely.
both internally and externally.
For sure.
Speaking of trust, we've talked about their impressive financial performance, but the report also highlights some other important financial metrics,
Yeah, like what?
like their cash flow and dividend payout ratio. How do those look?
They look solid.
Okay, good.
Their cash flow is healthy,
Uh-huh.
and they've consistently delivered strong returns for their shareholders over the years.
They have?
Yeah, they have a steady dividend payout ratio of around 55%,
Okay.
which shows they're balancing growth with rewarding their investors.
They really do seem to be firing on all cylinders.
They do. Solid track record of financial performance, a commitment to sustainability and community engagement, and a strong governance framework.
I'm really starting to see why they're considered a leader in their industry.
As with any company, though, there are always challenges ahead.
Oh, of course.
The competitive landscape is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
and consumer preferences can shift rapidly.
Right, and the global macroeconomic environment is always changing too.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a lot to juggle.
For sure.
But from what we've seen in this report, Asian Paints seems well equipped to navigate these challenges.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. They're constantly innovating, adapting, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I'm particularly impressed with how they're integrating sustainability into their core business strategy.
Me too.
It's not just an afterthought for them, it's part of their DNA.
And perhaps most importantly, they're doing it with a clear sense of purpose and responsibility.
Yeah.
They're not just building a business, they're building a legacy of sustainable growth and positive impact.
Well said. Now, we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but there's one piece of the puzzle we haven't explored yet.
What's that?
Their manufacturing and innovation processes. Asian Paints is known for its cutting-edge technology and commitment to quality.
They are.
Let's take a closer look at what makes them tick.
Okay.
What kind of information does the report give us about this?
Well, it's easy to get caught up in all the financials and marketing strategies,
Right.
but at the end of the day, Asian Paints is a manufacturing company.
True.
They have these massive production facilities churning out millions of liters of paint every year.
That's a lot of paint.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how they maintain such high quality and efficiency at that scale.
And that's where their commitment to innovation comes in.
Okay, I'm listening.
They're constantly investing in new technologies and processes
Yeah.
to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and enhance the quality of their products.
Sounds good.
The report highlights their Rotac facility.
Rotac.
Yeah, it's known for pioneering new chemistries and embracing technological advancements.
Yeah, fascinating. Are there any other examples in the report?
Yes. They also have a plant in Visakhapatnam
Vasakapanam. Okay.
that's received numerous awards for safety and efficiency.
Oh, wow.
It even earned the British Safety Council's Sword of Honor.
The Sword of Honor.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like they're really leading the way in terms of sustainable and efficient manufacturing.
They are. And it's not just about keeping up with the latest technology.
Okay, what else?
They also have a deep understanding of the science behind paint formulation,
Interesting.
their physical characterization and analytical research team.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
I know, right? They're constantly working to improve the performance and durability of their products.
Wow, I never thought about the level of scientific research that goes into making paint.
Right. It's a hidden world of chemistry and physics.
Who knew?
And Asian Paints is at the forefront of this field.
Really?
Yep. They're even working on developing new, more sustainable raw materials.
So they're not just using what's readily available.
Nope. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible. It sounds like they have a long-term vision for the future of paint technology.
Absolutely. They're not just thinking about today, they're investing in the future.
It's clear that they're not afraid to challenge the status quo and push for continuous improvement in all aspects of their business.
And that's what ultimately sets them apart. They're not just a paint company. They're a technology and innovation company disguised as a paint company.
I love that description.
Right.
But let's not forget about the people who make it all happen.
Of course not.
The workers on the factory floor, the scientists in the lab,
Yes.
the truck drivers who deliver the paint,
Mm-hmm.
the salespeople who connect with customers.
Yep.
It takes a whole team to make this kind of success happen.
You are absolutely right.
Asian Paints recognizes that their employees are their greatest asset.
They do.
They've created a culture of respect, empowerment, and continuous learning.
I like that.
They even have programs to help their employees develop their skills and advance their careers.
It's a company that clearly values its people.
And it's not just their internal workforce, right?
Right. Again.
Okay.
They also extend that same level of care and commitment to their suppliers, contractors, and community partners.
Oh, why?
It's like they're building a truly sustainable and inclusive ecosystem around their business.
So as you head into this meeting about Asian Paints, what are the key things to keep in mind?
Well, you can walk in there knowing that you're dealing with a company that's not just financially successful,
Right.
but also ethically grounded and future-focused. They're a company that's committed to doing things the right way, and they're not afraid to embrace innovation and challenge the status quo.
That's a powerful message to convey.
It is. You're not just investing in a company. You're investing in a vision of a more sustainable and equitable future.
I think you have a good grasp on the company, but I do have one final thought for you.
Oh, I'm all ears. What is it?
Asian Paint's commitment to a beautiful home strategy raises a question.
Okay.
How will this play out against rising consumer awareness of sustainable and ethically sourced home decor? Will they need to adapt their approach to truly resonate with this growing segment?
That's a great point.
This wasn't explicitly covered in the report,
Right.
but it's something you might want to consider as you learn more about the company.
I'll keep that in mind.
It's clear that Asian Paints is on the right track, but there's always room for growth and improvement.
Exactly.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you found it insightful and helpful. If anything sparks your curiosity or you have follow-up questions about this deep dive, don't hesitate to reach out.
Until next time, happy painting.
It's amazing to think about all the different elements, that have to come together for a company like Asian Paints to be successful.
It really is. Yeah, we've talked about their financials, their sustainability initiatives, their innovation, their people.
Right.
But it all starts with a vision, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it seems like Asian Paints has a pretty clear vision for the future. They want to be more than just a paint company. They want to be a leader in the home decor space, shaping how people create, beautiful and sustainable living spaces.
And that vision is reflected in everything they do.
Yeah.
From their product development, to their marketing campaigns, to their community engagement initiatives.
I'm curious, though, do they actually walk the walk when it comes to sustainability?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to talk about it in a report, but are they really making a tangible difference?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's something you can definitely dig into further, if you're considering investing in the company.
Okay.
Look beyond the marketing and see what concrete actions they're taking to reduce their environmental impact and support social causes.
What are some questions I could ask in my meeting to get a better sense of their commitment to sustainability?
You could ask about their specific targets for reducing emissions, water usage, and waste generation.
Okay.
You could also ask about how they're working with their suppliers to ensure ethical sourcing and fair labor practices. Don't be afraid to push for concrete examples and data points.
That's great advice. I'll definitely make sure to come prepared with some tough questions.
It's also worth noting that Asian Paints is operating in a rapidly evolving market.
Sure.
Consumer preferences are changing, new technologies are emerging, and the competitive landscape is constantly shifting.
So what does that mean for their future? Are they equipped to handle these challenges?
Well, they seem to be pretty adaptable and innovative.
Okay.
They're investing in R&D, exploring new product categories, and embracing digital technologies.
Right. It's a dynamic industry.
It is.
And there's always a risk that they could fall behind or make strategic missteps.
That's true. Investing is a long game, and it requires ongoing research and due diligence.
So to wrap things up, What would you say are the most important things to keep in mind about Asian Paints as I head into this meeting?
I'd say they're a company with a strong track record of financial performance,
Uh-huh.
a clear commitment to sustainability, and an ambitious vision for the future. But it's important to remember that every company has its risks and challenges.
True.
Do your own research, ask tough questions, and make an informed decision.
That's excellent advice. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope you found it insightful and helpful. If anything sparked your curiosity or you have follow-up questions, don't hesitate to reach out until next time.